If you want to turn shitty sounding basses like this into fat sounding basses like this, you clicked on the right video. I'm going to show you a technique that I recently discovered. As usual, there'll be a no bullshit guide, but stick to the end for a bonus tip. It spice up your bass even more. But first, since this technique is crucial to getting fat sounding basses, I need to tell you about a little thing called zero compression. In Ableton, this space right here is where all your effects go. Imagine the audio signal going from left to right, which means the order of effects also follow from left to right, and finally goes to the master. Zero compression is the act of stacking multiple compressors in a series, each one with a slightly different setting. This way, we get to control the dynamic range and shape of the signal accurately without overdoing it. Now that you have an understanding of what you're going to be doing, let's head over to the no bullshit guide. We're going to start with step 0 to understand what we're dealing with. Let's take a listen to this DI bass that I just played. If you don't know what a DI bass is, it's just a bass guitar plugged straight into your audio interface. As you can see, there are a lot of inconsistencies in the playing. I'm the one that played it. In other words, we have a very large dynamic range that we have to control. So to start, I want you to duplicate your original bass layer. Let's mute the duplicated layer first. Afterwards, grab an EQ. With the EQ, low pass the bass to about 200 Hz like so. Next, we need to get a compressor. Head over to the quieter parts of the bass guitar and adjust the threshold so it barely compresses it, only about 0.5 dB. After that, duplicate the compressor again and turn up the ratio to about 22.5 to 1. This will start acting as a limiter. Congratulations! We have now just created a consistent low end. Here's what it sounds like for now. With that, you're now done with step 1. Next, high pass the duplicated bass track. We're going to be doing the exact opposite. High pass it at 200 Hz, like so. Again, we're going to compress this layer as well, like so. And after, we're going to duplicate this layer again. With the latest duplicated layer, this is where we're going to add distortion to the bass line. I'm just going to use Ableton's saturator because it's the bass naze, mate. Don't be afraid to crank that Soldier Boy hard. Once you're happy with the amount of distortion you want in the bass, put on the chorus bass preset in Ableton. This is gonna widen out the distortion a little bit so it acts like almost like a Haas effect in your bass line. This will make it sound extra fat in the mix. Of course, adjust the dry wet according to your liking. I normally like it not so much, so this is around how much I would put the chorus bass. And now we are going to gain stage the distorted bass line with the other two bass track. With that, you're now done with step 2, distortion. Here's what your bass line should sound like now in the mix. Pretty good, huh? But there's still one last thing you can do to make it fatter and sit nicer in your mix. And this takes you to the bonus section that I spoke about in the intro. Here, I want you to group all 3 bass elements together. First, let's grab an EQ. High pass at around 50 Hz. This is to give space to the kick in your drums. Go to about 100 Hz and we're gonna boost this frequency. Here are also a few other frequencies you can boost for your bass. Use your ears. Different distortions and basses behave differently, so trust your gut and boost these frequencies according to your taste. Finally, put a compressor at the end of the group. This is to compress the exaggerated frequencies we just boosted. Again, you guessed it, duplicate this compressor and crank up the ratio to about 25 to 1 this time. This is to act almost like a brick wall limiter, but it's not really. It's just before it acting as a brick wall limiter. And that's it. With these steps, you should have a fat sounding bass that sounds like this. Being able to have a fat bass is important and all, but it does not mean shit if you can't hear it at all. For that, the rest of the track has to have a good mix. And if you don't know how to do that, don't worry. Click on this video right here. I'll see you there.